All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Higher Education Roundtable hosted by the Maryland State Board of Education and the Maryland State Department of Education. My name is Dr. Mara Das, and I serve as a member of the Accountability and Implementation Board for the Blueprint for Maryland's Future, and was the former Associate Vice President for Teaching, Learning, and Student Success at Prince George's Community College. It is truly my pleasure to facilitate this virtual roundtable tonight and to welcome State Board of Education members, Superintendent Mohammed, and our roundtable participants and our viewers on YouTube Live. The State Board of Education and MSDE are hosting this roundtable in a series of roundtables and other engagement events to hear about your experiences and ideas for the future of education in Maryland. And we are using this feedback to guide the development of a multi-year strategic plan that will implement the blueprint for Maryland's future and strengthen our public education system. So the information that we give is important, and it is truly a learning experience. So tonight, we are going to discuss college readiness with students, educators, school leaders, and college access program staff. We will explore student and staff experiences with advanced placement, dual enrollment, and early college programs. So these programs are intended to enable most students to leave high school with significant college credit and even an associate's degree. That's big stuff. So we're also here from students and staff representing programs that support first-generation college students, students of color, and low-income students in accessing higher education opportunities. A large part of college and career readiness is career technical education, or CTE for short. And MSDE had a robust discussion about CTE at an earlier roundtable that you can view on MSDE TV YouTube channel. So check it out if you get a chance. Now, it is my special pleasure to hear from our new, I guess we can still call him new, Superintendent Chaudhary for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Das. I really appreciate you making the time to hang out with me and do a roundtable with myself and the state board. I see 3 board members out there. So I see board member Jean Halley, and I see board member Bianca Chang, and I see our board president, Clarence Crawford. So they're there. If you can say hello or wave, I would appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys making the time. We have a nice big group. The team was like, I think it might be too big. I'm like, it's okay. I really want more students in here. Getting access to college courses and experiences in high school really changed my life, and really being able to have an equity lens on who gets access and how. It's not traditionally designed in a way to give access to especially historically disadvantaged students. So it's near and dear for me. I often like to say, you get what you design for. So the system is exactly producing what it's designed for. And so we really need to shake that up. And so I'm looking forward to doing that and have an amazing piece of legislation in the blueprint and an amazing state board and a partner in the AIB, as well as being able to put together a strategic plan that will really be the North Star. So these roundtables are for you to speak your truth, to share what's working, what's not working, how we can get better. And so please definitely take that time. Dr. Das will facilitate. I may, at certain points, I may ask a follow-up question. So Dr. Das, just watch out for that. I might say, hey, can you say a little more? Just because I want to know something. As you share, the only thing I would ask you to is think about what what your idea or suggestion can look like at scale or at a policy level, right? We do a lot of policy at the state level. We make a lot of decisions on different things. So what would that look like as a rule or as a policy, as a resource? And so kind of think about that. But if you just want to rant about something that's broken, I'm good with that too. And so you could definitely do that as well. And we will definitely hear you loud and clear. Again, speak your truth. And I appreciate you guys. And with that, let's jump right in. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. But before we get started, I'd like to go over just a few expectations and housekeeping items. As we said, we have a big group, so we want to make sure that we have everything in order and ready to go. We are live streaming and recording this roundtable on YouTube from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And your participation implies consent to be recorded. So when you're not speaking, please stay muted and just use the chat function if we are running short on time, and if there are additional comments that you would like to add, and we'll make sure that we get them from the chat, just like any of your other comments, because again, everything is important that you share with us. As we transition into our questions, we are looking forward to hearing about your honest experiences and creative ideas for how we can better support college readiness for all students. We have a lot to discuss in a limited amount of time for all of our participants to share. Each participant chose questions that are most important to them to discuss this evening. So we will be calling on you for those specific questions to make sure everyone is able to share. So before you answer the question, please introduce yourself by sharing your name, school district, your role, if you're an educator, student, so forth, and the program name, including your dual enrollment, early college, AP, or community. If you are viewing on live stream, our live stream viewers, you can use the chat to ask questions and make comments throughout the evening. And we will try to address those towards the end of the roundtable. And MSDE will use that feedback. Even if we don't get to talk about it right here in this session, they're going to use that feedback to inform the strategic plan as well. So again, I can't say it enough. Everything that you share is very important. We also ask that you avoid mentioning the specific names of schools, teachers, school staff, and students to protect their privacy. Because what did I say about Las Vegas? Never mind, forget that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off with the questions. And again, you guys can introduce yourselves. We're going to start off with question 1. That would be good, right? Start off with question 1. You don't want to start off with question 4 or 5. We're going to start with question 1. Describe student access to post-secondary learning opportunities while in high school, including dual enrollment and early middle college programs. So what is working well? That's one part. And how would you make these programs better? And let's start out with Lindsay.
Hi, I'm currently a middle college student in Prince George's County. One thing I would say that is doing really well is making sure that everyone in the county, because Prince George's County is very large, has access to it. One thing I would say that needs some more improvement is just making sure that every student knows about it. When I was personally having to make the decision about where I would go for high school, I knew that I wanted to do a middle college program, but it did take a while to kind of figure out which program would be the best for me. And when I picked the school that I wanted to go to at the time, there was not a lot of information on it. I remember like the first time I went on campus was I had already decided that that was the school I was going to go to, and the first time I had ever heard about my future course load, I was already being prepared to take courses according to that.
Okay. And Lindsay, why did you know you wanted to be a middle college student? Just a quick follow-up.
Oh, well, I knew I wanted to be a middle college student because I excelled really well in middle school, and I wanted something that was gonna challenge me. I knew there were courses like my local high school had like a science and tech and other programs like that, but I just wanted something that was gonna push me to the max, and I was essentially just looking for the hardest program to get into.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear from our folks from Western Maryland Works. And we can start with Caden.
Well, hi, I'm Caden. I'm a student in Allegheny County. I'm taking the advanced program here at the Western Maryland Work Center. I just graduated high school here in Allegheny County. During high school, we had a dual enrollment program to where every other week we would come here to the Makerspace and we would learn our industrial manufacturing and engineering programs. And I feel like that has helped me a lot and got me an early head start on a lot of other people throughout the field. Really, it's a really good program, and
Talk about early industry credentials.
I'm earning my industry credentials, NIMS certifications through here. They're industrially recognized, and they can help me get a job throughout different companies, engineering and industrial manufacturing wise.
What do you want to do, David? What do you want to do after this?
Oh, it's King. I
Aiden, sorry.
want to get to a more advanced program for engineering and manufacturing.
Got it. Can you just share for our audience what a makerspace is? I was just at one in Kent County, got to see one, but can you explain for our audience what is a makerspace and what people do in them?
Yes, so I'm Dave Smerrick. I operate the Makerspace out here. We have a real unique facility here. It's called Western Maryland Works. And we have our advanced manufacturing workforce development training programs here, as well as we are creating a community-based makerspace. Makerspaces are an affordable location where folks can come in, have access to equipment, tools, especially technology to make, design, create artistically, art, and hopefully could be leading to entrepreneurialism, or it's just, like I said, a place where they can learn. So it's not necessarily leading to jobs and careers. It's allowing folks to just have opportunities to do those kinds of things and such. So
Thank you.
please come up and visit us anytime.
I will. Thank you, Caden, and as well as David. I appreciate it. And I have been to a makerspace. They are now printing organs and such in the world. And so there's some amazing things you can do in print using makerspace printers and such. Dr. Das, back to you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, David. Jenna from Allegheny, are you here, Jenna?
Hi, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, hello. So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm not as familiar with question one as David is, as my colleague over there at Makerspace. Yes, my affiliation is more with through the county school system. I'm chair of Arts and Humanities, and I collaborate and will coordinate with the instructors in the high school system, and all of the public schools participate in early college. So, and I've been involved either going to the high schools and teaching, or teaching online, or working with sending in faculty into the high schools for the general education courses.
That's a lot. And you serve as an associate professor and division chair, right?
Yes.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of coordinating. With the program, what do you think, from your lens, what would make the program, what's working well? Let's talk about what's working well from your lens.
We have a position that started a few years ago. I think one thing that made such a world of difference was our college and career coach. So this is someone who is mostly housed in the high schools. She was hired by Allegheny College of Maryland, but she's housed in the schools. She helps with advising. She helps with coordinating any kind of problems, issues, registration that comes up, improper billing, all of those things where before faculty, it would be a faculty member walking in, not fully understanding all of those situations that can come up for a student. So it's serving in that advising capacity and helping students out was a tremendous bridge, I think, that helped make everything go much more smoothly. That was probably one of the most successful things. And we have a really good partnership. I'm saying faculty to faculty. I think we have a very good partnership. An example just with our division is we have some of the early college teachers, the high school teachers teach the, say, freshman composition. And then the second semester, a college teacher will teach, say, introduction to speech or introduction to literature. And it's this great partnership. So the students start off with the college curriculum, maybe having one of their high school instructors. And then the second semester, we either go to the high school or we do it online, streaming, some kind of capacity, one of the modalities that way. And then they get us as for their second semester. So that also seems to be something that works well.
Mhm.
I think I experienced that. So when I was shadowing a student in Allegheny, I was at Mountain Ridge High School, and the schedule included college algebra and college English. And the day started off with that. And I think that was an articulation agreement with the community college, and the instructor was basically vetted to be able to provide that. Am I wrong about that, or is that right?
That is correct.
I got it.
Yeah.
And I did pretty well that day too. I did all the assignments and everything else. It was good.
Good job. You remembered your algebra.
And thank you, Jenna. And David, I just wanted to make sure that you did have a chance to actually respond to the question, if you wanted to.
The question about what works well and what could be better. So understanding the direction of workforce development leading to actual employment. Caden here, he earned 13 industry recognized credentials, which he can tomorrow go and become employed as a machinist somewhere around $45,000, $50,000 a year. Guy's only 18 years old, so real proud of him. But it's a different pathway into employment. He didn't earn college credits, but we are going to be starting in the fall an actual local CTE program, which will be engineering and will incorporate the same credentials that Caden earned this year here. So MHEC passed us. Now we got to put it together and start it next fall. So we're really excited about that. But what could work better is to really go back and look at some of these programs that lead, like I said, can offer these industry credentials at the high school level, so that when they're graduating, they are career ready. Versus, and then, once they're into those careers, they can further those careers through CE and continuing education type programs. So Caden only has level 1. There's like a level 2 machinist, and there's tool die and gauge makers. It goes on. You're looking at, he can go this direction for the next 20 years. He'll never take a college credit class, but he will earn through his time here probably 40 or 50 industry recognized credentials in different disciplines and activities and such, endorsements and all. So if he makes it to tool die and gauge maker, you're well over $100,000 a year. So it is a career pathway. It's just recognizing those different career pathways. So
Wow.
it could be better. So
yeah, wow.
I know who to go borrow money from in the next few years. It's this young guy right here.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Okay, we have Elkton High School in the house. let's start off with Simone, and this is still responding to question 1.
Hello, I'm Simone, and I'm a student of Cecil County, and I partake in the Early College Academy. I don't have the first part of the question, but I do know what it can grow on. I do know as a student that maintaining student connections would be a big thing about it. Throughout the process of our high school career, it is maintained at most 2 years with the kids on our grade, but further on, our time with them shrinks and we're being torn away from them. So as kids in college, it'll be like a lot of more support and connection with kids in our grade. Like we are missing awards assembly, class assemblies, and green zone activities. And in the college, you're just with other college students and they're not as fun, I guess. And another thing would be a more specific degree towards the associate's degree that we will earn in the Early College Academy. As of right now in our program, we are earning a general degree. And that's good if you're not decided in what you're going to do later in life. And there are some kids that are like that. But if some students are more career oriented when they go into high school, I think it would be better to start them off on a career path that will put them towards it. Say a kid wanted to be a doctor, so start them off on more sciences and less of the fine arts. But I do like fine arts as well. So if they wanted to go in the fine arts course, then have them take more fine arts. And in the high school, there's only so many AP classes they can take while they're there to get them in that direction. So if the colleges would like support their career paths, I think it would be better. So and allow more access to these courses so that they are set on the career path to make it easier when they do transfer into a 4-year if they want to. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Simone. Thank you very much. April?
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is April Stern. I'm up in Cecil County and I work for our 2-year institution here, and I'm the director of early college. So I oversee all things high school with my institution, and Simone is actually in our most robust program we have, which is the Early College Academy. That group of students starts in the 8th grade or 9th grade with their college coursework, and they're at the high school for 2 years taking that. And then they transfer over to the actual campus and they're there for the last 2 years of their high school career. So that's what she was touching on there. But it is a robust program. We're very proud of it. We also obviously have dual enrollment, senior waivers, everything. You know, we try to give as many opportunities for our county students to be able to get college credit while in high school. Some things that I think that work really well for us is we have a great working relationship with our school district here. One thing that we changed was having point people at the high school, so it wasn't multiple people answering different emails and things like that, trying to get kids on the right path. I think that made a huge difference for myself as one person dealing with all of the high schools. So that's one thing that I think is very, very good. One thing that I would like to see improve at this point is, of course, enrollment, especially on our on-site program where we're going to the schools to teach one class each semester to juniors and seniors. That enrollment has declined in the last couple of years. And we can't find a trend. We don't know why, but I'm hoping that we can see that trend back up because it is a great opportunity for students to earn college credit while in high school. And it works towards not only getting college credit, but they're also getting high school credit at the same time. So that's something that I'd like to see improve.
Okay, that enrollment piece is interesting. I don't know, does it have any, do you think it has anything to do with the marketing of the program, or I'm just throwing out questions?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. The guidance counselors and the district office are great about letting students know what opportunities are there for them. And of course, our admissions department goes out. We go out and talk to the kids about what's available for them to take in the high school. I don't know if it's that or if it might be cost. You know, not only are they paying for some of the tuition, but they also have to buy books and things like that. So, you know, there may be things that attribute to it. So I'm hoping that we can see that enrollment increase.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Who can round us out? Beth, you're going to round us out for Elton.
Sure. Hi, I'm Beth Klein. I'm from Cecil County. I'm the school counselor, and I actually work with April as liaison for the school that I'm in. And I deal with the ECA program and the dual enrollment. To kind of address the drop in enrollment, I think there's two things going on. I think the students at our school, particularly that were enrolled in those on-campus, on-site college classes, are now enrolled in our ECA, or Early College Academy. So we're trying to be more intentional on marketing, like you said, and reaching out to parents so they understand what financial supports are available via the county and the college. The college offers a very nice student scholarship for academics to make it possible for them to attend. And I think that too, like some of the students were kind of concerned, obviously, with COVID. Registering for that and not really sure if they were prepared for it in this year. So I'm hoping in the year, next year that we'll kind of see an increase in involvement. We're also trying to be very intentional and talking to parents and explaining to parents that the challenge is worth it and not just to focus on the GPA. That's been an ongoing battle, but we do have a lot of financial supports. And I think it's just a matter of people not being aware of what's being provided, especially with like Senate Bill 740, like they get that additional money. And we just have to be a little more intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure those same challenges are shared by many. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Bev. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Elton. Now we have Bard High School, and they're going to tell me to move it along. We're still on question 1. Okay, Bard High School, early college. Come on, question 1.
Hi,
Jada.
Jada's gone first. Great, wonderful.
Hi everyone. My name is Jada. I'm in Baltimore City. I attend an early college high school. Basically, the early college is intertwined in our high school curriculum. So my first 2 years of my high school career, I'm doing all high school classes to take care of my high school, what I need to graduate high school. My last 2 years of my high school career, I'm actually taking college classes. So that way, my last 2 years, I graduated with my AA degree and over 60 transferable college credits. It's a really good program. I think it does a really good job with preparing you for the workload that you get from college. We have a lot of support. We have a CTO advisor, a college transfer office advisor. So they help us with preparing for the college application, college essays, finding colleges that will actually accept our college credits. So overall, it works really well. I would say the only thing that probably could be better is, and this may be a student issue, I guess you could say, like personal issue, but understanding that our workload is to prepare us for college, because they ease us into it really nicely. Our high school classes, because it's like an accelerated school, we are doing all like 4 years of high school in 2. But I will say one of the common things that I've heard from my peers at the school was understanding that we are still in high school, but this is a college course, so we have to adapt, I guess, faster. But I mean, I guess it'll be the same as a regular high school student going into a college thing. It's preparation. So honestly, it's not much to change. They do a really good job with preparing us and supporting us and everything. So
Beta, how did you, so I know in the city, you guys choose where you go to high school, right? And so what happened in middle school to get you into Bard? Like what made you want to do that? Was it, did your parents volunteer you in there, or like what happened, or did you truly choose yourself, or and how'd you find it? Like what made you aware of it? How'd you end up there?
So I actually got to choose it myself. In middle school, my counselor, she actually held like nights where we got to find out what high schools would work. We have composite scores in the city. So my composite score was high enough to attend any school in the city. But so honestly, I was leaning toward an all-girl school called Western. But my counselor, when she told me about Bard, what she said was, you know, you get your associate's degree in 60 credits. So that knocks off like 2 years of college. And that was what sold it for me. I'm the type of person, I don't want to be in a place longer than I have to. So I was saying if I only have to go to college for 2 years, like that's really nice. And also I'm a type of person, like I think it was Simone who said it, I enjoy a challenge. And I also like the idea of being ahead of other people and other peers. So yeah, it's really the knocking down the 4 year of college that did it for me.
I got it. So what's next after Bard? What are you doing next?
I'm actually attending Drexel University to major in finance and business administration. I actually got a really nice financial award, and because of my AA degree, my college credits, they're accepting them. So I only have to be there for like 2.5 years.
That's awesome. I will be looking out for your name, out competing everyone, because it sounds like that's what you will be doing.
Definitely.
Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Thank you, Jada. All right, now we'll go to Dr. Kakapna, and I know I'm not saying that right.
That's okay. Kokanya. Hi, I'm Helene Kokanya. I'm the Dean of Studies and Literature and Faculty at Bard Early College. Jada did a great job of describing what it is we do, that we have this accelerated program and then a dual enrollment program. And I'll say that I got to teach Jada last year in my seminar. And even in the virtual world, she just blew me away with the quality of thinking. I think that one of the things we do well is we offer academic rigor with appropriate support for the students. We often describe what we do as teaching college courses, but also teaching students how to be successful in college courses. So we want to foster habits and practices that will allow them to be able to succeed in their next college or the career they go into. I think another strength of our program is that all of these offerings happen in one place. So students don't have to leave campus to take their college classes, and there's no cost to students. A significant number of our students come from low income and historically underrepresented communities. And I think that significantly reducing tuition debt is something that has a major impact in people's lives. One thing that I think about as an area for growth is in terms of hiring faculty and finding faculty who see early college as a place for them. The majority of our faculty hold advanced or terminal degrees, and we have a partnership with MSDE for an alternative pathway to certification. And that basically allows us to ensure that there are best practices in pedagogy paired with their content expertise. I'd love to see a strengthening of a pipeline between institutes of higher education and early college efforts to see those places encouraging master's and doctoral students to really consider early college teaching as a desirable career path. I'd love to see more conversations that dispel the impression that the nature of teaching at high school and college level is so fundamentally different, that I think that doesn't have to be true. I think that infusing teacher training into doctoral programs and master's programs would really help to bridge that divide and improve teaching really across the board for everyone, college and high school students. Thanks.
Can you say a little bit more about that pathway so they understand what does the alternative pathway granted by?
Sure. So because a lot of people who will come to teach at Bard may have just finished a doctoral program. I personally taught in private schools for 10 years because I didn't see public school as an option for me because I wasn't certified. And so I think that there's still a lot of room for growth in terms of communicating to people who really love to teach and are interested in teaching. I think at times institutes of higher ed can discourage teaching below the college level and see it as not something that they would encourage their students to do. I know that when I was at Hopkins, that's how I was treated, that would not be something that they would want you to go on to do. And I think there are a lot of people who would love to do what I do, but aren't really given information about how to make that happen.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We rounded out. Now we have, oh, no. We have Ernest from Montgomery County. Ernest.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ernest Carlich from Montgomery County, and my role is an administrator at our local two-year community college. I would say, I think most things are working. So of course we have our various programs. We have our Jumpstart program, which just allows students to take individual courses, perhaps just to build confidence, or maybe lead them towards one of the other programs such as early college or middle college, with both, which both start you with the traditional high school experience and then transition you to either your final 2 years doing simultaneous high school and college work, or just doing your final year at the college level and graduating. I think one thing that works is definitely communication and promotion of the program. So for example, in my role, I've seen that we promote via the student portal, or the parent portal, I should say, in the high schools, which gets parents the information. And then also our recruitment team will go out and speak about our various dual enrollment programs. I jotted down, I think Simone's point was always also good about connection. One thing that's good is that at commencement time, we also have individual or a separate program for our early college students who are graduating. So that gives you that kind of, again, connection model. From my perspective as well, one thing I look at is enrollment, and our enrollment has been historically strong. And there's been some waivers, but it's always typically around the 1,300 mark every semester. So I think that's a strong enrollment. However, it's never enough, so the more we can build that up, the more we would be happy with that. And my last comment would be just to make sure you don't have any unforeseen barriers. So for example, over the years, we always waived our application fee. It's a nominal fee, but it can still be a barrier for some students. So we didn't want that to impact, their applying to get admitted to Montgomery College and then doing the early college programs. So I think those are the things: connection, and strengthen your partnership. We all have good partnerships with our local school systems, but you can always strengthen it. And then also create a connection for the students in those programs.
Sounds like you have a lot of options for the students. That's great.
We try.
Dr. Das, we have one more on this group. I want to make sure we get to them because they were added because I recently visited them, and I really wanted to make sure. And we're pretty good on time. And also, guys, don't forget about the chat. So you can always chat away and make comments, but we're pretty good on time. But it's the team from Northwood High School, also from Montgomery College. So if we can have Michael and I'm going to get this name wrong, but the student Alphael, and please correct me when you do go. And if we can have them talk about their program and such. I recently visited it, so I'm a little biased as to why I wanted them in here today.
Hi, my name is Mike Sauter, and I'm the coordinator of the Montgomery College Middle College, or MC Squared program at Northwood High School. We use a combination of advanced placement classes and dual enrollment classes to offer our students the opportunity to earn their associate's degree while they're in high school. And one of my students is here as well. Oh, can't hear you.
There she is. But
hello.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
I'm
are.
Raphael, part of the Northwood MC Square program.
Say your name. Say your name one more time.
Raphael.
Raphael. There you go.
So far I've been able to take 6 AP classes, and I've really had great experiences with the MC Square program. It's allowed me to connect to many college classes, career opportunities, and meet a lot of people who are also interested in those fields as well. Something great I'd say about the dual enrollment program and the MC Square program at our school is the reach and how early they start promoting the program. I first got interested and notified about it in 8th grade in middle school, and I was able to learn about the program and fill out an interest form if I wanted to join the program, and that was cool. And everybody was able to get it at our school and get involved with the MC Square program. Something I would say that could improve is actually like the details about the program, because a lot of people do start out enrolling in the program, but later on some people do drop out, and that's because they are not really aware of what the program actually entails, what classes you have to take, what classes you can't take because of schedule. So I feel like that's something that could be improved.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, guys.
I'd like to add to it. So one of the great things about having it at a school like ours, so we are in a consortia of 5 high schools. So the students from our 9 feeder middle schools get to choose from those 5 high schools, and they can choose to come to our program. So in addition to applying for the MC Squared program itself, once students come to Northwood High School, we're also able to add them to our program. So we let students know that this exists at our school. You know, for instance, in the coming year, because we have this program at our school, we have professors coming from Montgomery College to teach a number of classes there. And not all of those classes are full. So we're going to be able to have jumpstart students, as well as students who may not have come to Northwood purposefully to be in the MC Squared program, but once they're there and they're like, hey, I know somebody, I know Alpha L is in this class, I think I'd like to go join that class too. And so they are able to access the program, because there's not an entrance test to get in. A lot of the other magnet programs and things like that in our county can be somewhat off-putting because they have entrance exams and things like that. And, you know, our students are able to actually choose, hey, now that I know what this is, and it's right at my high school, and I don't have to travel to a campus, I can do these things here and now. And, you know, that eliminates a lot of the hurdles that a number of people have spoken about. Policy-wise, one of the things that would improve the program, our funding is based on CCR, CCA. So if a student qualifies for free or reduced meals and completes a grant application at Montgomery College, then they are able to get the financial support that they need to cover everything, including books. But they have to do that every single term. It's not like completing a FAFSA and then you get a financial package in March that you know is going to cover you for the coming year. They have to do it each term. So that is one thing that I would like to be able to eliminate. And perhaps we need to call free and reduced meals something else, because it's not just for the meals. It's for for many other areas of support. So perhaps that program needs a new title, because it's also about being able to access support that will enable you to pay for college classes and everything else.
Mike, I want to share one other thing on policy, just because you shared it with me, and I do want folks to hear that in the audience. So, you know, through COVID, a lot of our institutions went test optional, right? When it comes to, you know, having gateway exams in order, whether it be the AccuPlace or other things that often trip up some of our students who are not necessarily, you know, they don't perform well in that type of test, but they can still hang their own and be able to do well. So can you share something you guys saw? You were sharing with me as the community college went test optional on for them to be able to take a college class. I think what you told me is more kids were able to get access, and they're doing just fine. Unless, correct me if I'm wrong.
No. You are quite correct. It definitely expanded the group of students who were able to access the program and the classes. The way our program used to be, the first semester of 10th grade was all about prep for the AccuPlacer and taking the AccuPlacer. And some students simply were not able to get college-ready scores from that, and the program ended then for them. And so now, rather than doing that, we're able to actually start them in their first college class in the fall of 10th grade based on their GPAs coming out of 9th grade. Basically, 275 or better qualifies students to be able to do it. We are looking at a 3.0 being a more accurate predictor of being able to be successful in the college classes. But, you know, because of that, yeah, our program definitely expanded in terms of who was able to choose to be in these classes, and they have been very successful.
Thank
we
you
had
for sharing.
42 students this year who got 50 or more credits before they graduated from high school, and amongst them, a number of them are well over 60 credits and earned their associate's degrees.
No, that's a very important thing because we have a major study we just commissioned that's going to shape something called CCR that Dr. Das knows about. And this is something I have been putting a spotlight on. And so I appreciate you sharing that. Sorry, Dr. Das, you can go back to question 2.
That's fantastic, Mike. Thank you for sharing that. All right, now we're ready for question number 2, which is similar, but it talks about secondary schools. So here's the question. Secondary schools provide college preparation coursework, such as advanced placement and international baccalaureate programming that expose students to the rigor of college coursework and allow them to earn college credits. How can more students gain access to these programs? And again, what is working well and what needs to be improved? And the question is you'll find the question in the chat as well. So let's start off with Northern High School, and we'll start with Paige.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paige Plater. I'm a sophomore from Calvert County, and I'm currently taking AP classes, and then I'm also doing a dual enrollment course. So I would say something that's working really well is telling students and informing them of like AP classes and dual enrollment. If you're not aware of it, like at the end of 8th grade, you can join at the end of 9th grade and you can kind of get on track. But I think the problem and kind of the disconnect between students knowing about like AP courses specifically and actually doing them is being aware of the resources that they have. Because I think across the board, whether you're already in advanced classes or maybe you're on like standard or honors classes, the biggest like fear, I guess, is not being successful in these classes. So I feel like if you're already in like AP classes or you're in the highest level or course for a certain subject, you know, you're talking to the teachers that will be teaching the courses, the next AP courses that you would take. You're able to like talk to them about what fears you have and kind of why you're apprehensive about joining these courses. I know like my math teacher, she's having meetings during Patriot Time that she tells us about during class just to answer questions about the AP math courses. But if you're like in a standard class or you're in an honors class, you're not going to hear about this stuff. So you're just going to probably decide not to take a course because you don't think you're going to be successful, when in reality, there's a lot of resources that students have that teachers will give you to be successful and kind of calm your worries about the class.
And Paige, what AP classes have you taken so far?
So I'm taking AP Government and then AP Art History this year. And then for my dual enrollment course, I'm doing Algebra 2 Pre-Calc.
Oh, okay. Impressive. Thank you. Addison.
Hi, I'm also a sophomore AP student in Calvert County. I would say access is mostly there already. Like we have almost all of the AP courses that you can have. Even though sometimes they don't have enough enrollment, but that's not really a school-related issue. It's just getting people to sign up for courses. But as a result of people who don't necessarily, the kids you're trying to reach out to who aren't taking a whole bunch of APs, advertisement, and then when it's course registration time, it's here, you should take this AP class and this AP class. And while there's an important balance for inclusivity and valuing this rigor, because I would say like I've taken European history this year and it's most important class I've ever had in the sense of what I've learned in my critical thinking and my writing skills. But you also have to consider that when you emphasize these classes and you try to get people to get involved in these programs, sometimes it becomes a competition even. And like at this point, even I've taken courses that I'm just like, well, my teacher told me to, and where that might not be the best fit and where you're stacking lots of classes that you might not have time for. And it becomes kind of toxic with other students where I'm taking 14, or at least scheduled to take 14 APs. And I'm at the high end of my school, but I know students across the state taking 20 of these classes. And it's really unrealistic if you want to have a perfect GPA and you want to stay involved in extracurriculars and athletic activities and have a good mental health kind of environment. So you have to realize that you can advertise these courses and reach out to students, but also know that it's not always the best choice for everybody in every subject area.
Yeah, wow. Is there a stated limit on how many you can take, or there's no limit?
I mean, the 28 class periods you got, but it can get a little too much at some points with just students. And you want to be at the top in your class, and you want to have, the best class rank for college admissions and all this stuff. And you're just competing with students, and you're like, is this person naturally talented and just super intelligent, or are they really willing to put all of this other stuff in their life on the back burner that I would say is also important to like the high school experience?
Okay. Wow. Thank you. Thanks, Addison. Kimberly.
Hi, yes. Yeah, Paige and Addison did a great job responding. They're actually both my students. I'm a current counselor for grades 10 in Calvert County Public Schools. We serve grades 9 through 12, and how the counselors do our caseloads is we move up with our students as they progress to the next grade level. I love it because I get to know my students really, really well. I think the girls hit it right on the head with a few of these points. They were actually some of my points that I was going to bring up, but I think something like this, what we're doing right now, is so critical because I love hearing about how other high schools across Maryland are handling AP, college preparation, dual enrollment, things like that. So I really appreciate being part of this opportunity. And in Calvert County Public Schools, we're actually really good when school counselors meet. We're really good about sharing information about, well, hey, what kinds of nights and information sessions do you have for your students and their families? And then I know, my counselor cohort in our school, we're very close in sharing what we do each with our grade levels. And then we're fortunate enough to have a new college and career counselor as well to help alleviate some of our loads, because right now I have 375 10th graders on my caseload. It's a lot. I love it. I don't want to lose any of them, but we do need a little bit more help when it comes to alleviating the workload, and especially with mental health. So essentially, I think the students already have a lot of access to these programs. I feel like we advertise them really well. And it's critical to spread this awareness to students and their families about what opportunities are there. For instance, we have like junior family night, senior family night, course registration presentations to our students, open houses for incoming ninth graders, and then dual enrollment information nights through the College of Southern Maryland, which is our 2-year community college. We have a great relationship with CSM, and they come to our campus. They come to all the high schools in Calvert County very frequently to attract students and inform students and their families about what opportunities they have. So being informed and sharing that information with students and their families is critical, because CSM isn't just about, let's get a 2-year degree, let's transfer to a 4-year college. They have phenomenal career programs through CTE and different apprenticeship programs and things like that. So just getting that information out there to our families and making them aware is critical. So actually one thing that I started doing this year is, now that we're all back in school and we're not shut down, I started meeting with every single 10th grader starting in late November through February. And we would sit down, and this was after I did a career awareness activity in, all the government classes, trying to hit every single 10th grader with, through a website called Zello. I'm not sure if folks are familiar with the Zello platform, but it's brand new to Calvert County Public Schools. And they have a lot of great features. And again, kids don't have to decide what they want to do right now for the rest of their lives. So it's sort of also dispelling that myth, but just telling them what options there are. So we did a lot of Zello career awareness activities. And then I took that information and sat with each 10th grader and met with them. We looked at their transcript. We talked about different career ideas, and we plotted out some course planning. And these conversations were really, really helpful, not just for me, but hopefully, for my students, and telling them about opportunities like, hey, did you know that we have this AP Human Geography class? If you want to do engineering, that's a perfect class for you to become more of a well-rounded individual because it hits upon these topics. So just telling them about that was so, so beneficial. And I keep my transcripts all throughout the 4 years so I can see the growth with each student. I think something that I know Paige hit upon that is, and also, Addison, is just being nervous about taking these AP classes, feeling stressed, feeling, fearful, maybe not confident that they can handle this workload, not knowing what it's going to be about, because they might be hearing from their classmates, oh gosh, this class is so hard, but they don't know that. So I think it's important to, maybe something that we can improve upon is offer like AP preparation programs or dual enrollment preparation programs. Maybe even like a summer boot camp or what have you. One of our math teachers does meet with the students very closely. The AP teachers, can get their rosters and they can start, meeting with those students to tell them more information about their classes. Something that I'm also infusing into each of my classroom activities when we talk about career awareness and exploration, we do a lot of stress management activities as well. How do we reduce stress? We do mindfulness activities about, going to these, relaxation techniques, and also, deep breathing, things like that. And I'm thinking next year for my 11th graders, maybe we'll do some restorative practice circles about, how their stress levels are being managed. So lots of different ideas I would like to implement, but I would like to have time. That's the one thing. It's sort of like you want to do everything to help your students, and it's, you can't do it all. So that's what I would share.
Kimberly, just really quickly. So I was at Northern High School. I shadowed a sophomore, and I actually the day started with a photography class, and I remember, and I was talking to Principal Williams, and he stated that one of the things that you guys have been working on, and so given that you're a counselor, he said it's fairly new, but getting the staff to also buy into on how to get more kids into AP classes and looking at a different profile and not the traditional, like, if you are at this level, therefore you are in. So can you talk about some of that work? Or if you, I know he told me it felt like it was still very new and he wanted to bring the staff along. Not everyone was quite there. And so it's, I just wanted to
go for a while with you. The book club got postponed to next week, but I'm going to get off this meeting at,
I think someone's not.
Sorry, that was me. I accidentally unmuted. I just have to leave the meeting at 7. I was just telling my spouse and meant to go off camera. I apologize.
No worries. Kimberly, can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. We're trying to target students who may not, fit the quote unquote profile of taking AP classes. We might look at the AP potential based on SAT scores or PSAT scores. Teachers might go into classrooms and, advertise what each of these classes are about, the AP classes that they teach. So those are just a couple of the ideas that, we're starting to do just in terms of, awareness, recruitment. It's also important to, for students and families to know, how do these AP credits actually transfer to college and how do colleges interpret them? And also, not just taking AP for the college credit, but also for that more well-roundedness, and for, helping your higher order thinking skills, things like that. But those are some of the recruitment strategies that, we're trying to tap into.
Got it. Thank you.
You're doing a lot, Kimberly. That's good.
Thanks.
Okay. Tawana from Tawana from Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. Are you here?
How are you? Hopefully my dogs they've been quiet all night, but as soon as I start talking, they're going to go crazy. So yes, my name is Tawana Sellers. I'm a high school counselor and college advisor in Baltimore City Schools. We are fortunate enough to offer 24 AP classes at our school. We are also a college prep school, so we have there are 5 school counselors plus 2 college-bound advisors. So we do have enough staff, but we still have a lot of students to cover and get through the entire process. We are very big on preparing these students to apply for college from 9th grade until they're out of our school as seniors. 9th grade, we start with them about building their resume. 10th grade, we have them take a Holland career assessment, and then they do a college search based on some of the careers that they were produced from their assessment. 11th grade, they are still searching for colleges. We offer 2 college fairs. We take them on college tours. They work on their essays with their English teacher. And then when they become seniors, we go through the college application process, and all of these things that we are doing is in the classroom with the students. And we also do one-on-one support, but we do the college application process. We show them how to access Common App. We help them show them how to apply to colleges. It's a step-by-step process. We sit with them through the financial aid process, which could be as trying as ever. And then we guide them and show them different scholarships. So we are there with them from start to finish. And then when they get accepted, we show them how to read their financial aid award letters and compare and contrast, figure out what is the best option for them and their families. And then when it's time for them to graduate, we give them some strategies or some things to do over the summer before they go to college, and things to do within their first year of college. So we are with them until they are ready to leave. And then sometimes they never leave because they keep emailing us while they're in college. What I can say is for students and AP classes, one thing I try to encourage my students is challenge by choice. If you are a student who loves history, challenge yourself to take AP history. If you are a student who's really, really good at English, challenge yourself to take AP language or AP literature. I think some of the problems that we find are the students are afraid of the amount of work that it is and how challenging it can be. So I do offer them one-on-one time with another peer that is currently in that class, so they can say, here are some of the things that I do, here are some of the things that we do within this class. And they usually end up signing for the course. I believe it was Addison who was talking about the number of AP classes. We try to limit our students because it's stressful to take many, many AP classes. When they are in their junior year, we say, please try not to take any more than 3. 3 is enough. And when you're seniors, try not to take any more than 4. These kids want to take 5 and 6 AP classes. Number one, it doesn't fit in their schedule. And number 2, they end up coming to me saying, oh, Ms. Sellers, I'm so stressed out. I can't believe I took 6 AP classes. So we really, really discourage them from doing that. One of the things that we do at our school is we offer a AP summer prep, and it's done over the summer. The students get paid for it. They get paid through YouthWorks to come and learn how to prepare for the AP classes that they're going to take. And I think it's about 6 weeks, and it's done with our librarian who has a doctorate, and she does a lot of research with the students, and other teachers come, and students that have previously taken these AP classes come and help tutor or guide these students through the process of taking AP classes. I don't know what else to say. I think I've said a lot. Everybody kind of hit on all the points that I was saying. I was taking my notes, and every time you guys would bring something up, I cross it out. So, so I think everybody that has spoken tonight has hit on some really important points. But if I could say one thing about getting more students involved in AP classes, challenge by choice.
Challenge by choice. All right. It's a new phrase for me. Challenge by choice. Appreciate it. And I just have one question. It's going to be hard for you to answer, though. What's one thing that could be improved with the program?
Oh, one thing. I know that our program is pretty good as far as the number of counselors that we have and the amount of support that we have in the school for these students. We even have somebody come that is our financial aid guru that comes to our school and sits with our kids. I think one thing that could be improved is the encouragement of getting more students involved in APs. I mean, we say take an AP class, but I think to encourage them more to take AP classes, especially the students of color. You know, we don't have nearly enough students of color taking AP classes. And if there was a better way for us to sit down with these students who are doing exceptionally well at the school, to get them to take AP classes, to let them know that it may not be as hard as you think and it's going to be okay, I think that would be more helpful.
Okay.
And I think that encouragement has to come from the top down.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that. Katie, finish us off for question number 2 from P-Tech.
Hi, I'm Katie Paslow. I'm a high school student with Worcester County, and I'm taking dual enrollment and biomedical sciences. I would just like to say first that we need more information for what comes along with AP and dual enrollment classes. I feel like a lot of the time we get the high ends of it, we get these benefits, you're gonna get these credits, you're gonna get whatever comes out of the end of the course, but not necessarily what's going to be happening during the courses. These classes might sound amazing, and then we get into them and we aren't told the true workload. I feel like we aren't informed enough about what we're going to be actually taking, the tests that come at the end to actually gain the credits. I feel like just the communication there could be a lot stronger from teacher to student, counselor to student. Usually you want to persuade the kids to take the classes, and that's great. But the problem is once they're already in the class, they last a week, and then people are dropping them because they don't realize that the classes are that hard and that challenging. And I just feel like just informing the student that this is a challenging class, you're gonna be challenged, and that's a great thing. And people, it's mentioned previously, people want to do good. They want to be the top of the classes. So let them know that these classes are going to be challenging. And dual enrollments, same with AP, these are going to be challenging classes, but you're going to be top of the class. You are the top of the students. And I feel like just the communication there could be really strong and really beneficial, especially for getting to kids to take the classes and stay in the classes until they are completed. The colleges and the work themselves in dual enrollment and AP are amazing. They prepare us so well. We are ready for the work as soon as we come out of high school. We're going to be prepared. We're going to be ready to take on the learning environment that comes along with college classes. We're going to be confident when we go into college. And that's what these classes are working for. But just being truthful and getting the information and learning the full course of what we are going to be going into would be really beneficial for lots of my peers, would have been really benefited from learning what we had to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very well said. Very well stated. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on. Question number 3. Community-based programs also provide a wide array of college access and preparation programming to make sure students are ready to be successful in a variety of post-secondary learning opportunities. What strategies are effective for preparing students for college, and what needs to be better? And remember, you can see the question in the chat as well. Let's start off with Adelante Latina participants. And we have Ellen. Is Ellen here?
Yes, hi, good evening. I'm thrilled to be on this panel along with 2 of our graduates, both of whom attended Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, both of whom, one has already graduated from the University of Maryland, College Park, and one is currently there in the School of Business. What our program can provide and supplements the excellent support that they do get from the schools in Baltimore City is really an additional layer of support. Our students come from families with parents. Most of the parents do not speak any English. And so the information that comes from the schools often is either not understood by the parents or sometimes doesn't even get to the parents. And so we're supporting specifically Latinas, girls, whose families sometimes, all of our families are supportive of their daughters going to college, but they are coming from a culture in which that is not often the case. So we're helping support these strong young women in pursuing their dreams of going to college. We provide them with supplemental English instruction. Our students are fully bilingual, but as I said, come from families where they're during the school day they are functioning very in really very high fashion in their English speaking school environments, but they're going home to their Spanish speaking families, and so often their English, their written English, sometimes their reading comprehension just isn't quite as strong as some of their English speaking or native English speaking student colleagues. So we're giving them additional instruction in intensive writing, reading comprehension, vocabulary, and then helping them from 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, straight through to college, and then also providing them support once they get to college. But I'm going to stop speaking and let maybe Allison, do you want to go first as our college graduate? Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Some of the things that I also want to highlight is that the program allows us to tour different college campuses, which to me was very helpful. And even just like being exposed to what college life was like. We do a summer program where we actually stay in Notre Dame College. So we stay in their dorms, which also like adds a little more like motivation to like, oh, this is what college life is like. If there is one thing that I would say could be improved, I am going to be teaching ESOL with AACPS. So I just wish that these programs were a little more accessible for English learners. Sometimes teachers think that because of the language barrier, these students are not able to make it to college, and that is not true. Also, I think that I really like that the program is directed by a Latin person because she understands like our culture and how sometimes parents of like high school students, ESOL high school students, have like you go to school and then you go to work, and there's not a lot of like room for them to continue their education outside of those high school hours. And the director of this program makes those connections with the parents, which I think it's very valuable to ensure that not only the student is engaged, but also that we feel our parents also support us in going to these programs. So yeah, I just wish they were more accessible to all ESOL students as well.
Mm-hmm. The parent participation and engagement and understanding is just so very important to helping the students get through various programs. And Allison, if you just had one thing that about the program that you would say helped you the most, I know there's many, but if you just had one.
So we go to the program twice a week, and one day of the week we would be with our tutor. And I think that was like something that was very helpful to me because I was able to build relationships with this tutor for all my 3 years that I was in the program. So I was more comfortable going to her for questions in regards to anything, college applications or like college life or academic work. So I think that the tutor was very helpful for me.
Thank you. Thank you. And then Michelle, are you here?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle. I think going straight into the question, one thing that the Adelante Latina program provided us that really helped me transition into college was connecting us to various speakers that would come in every week. to talk about their educational careers and their experience and bringing in that outsider's perspective that's still connected to the Latin community. Having them and being able to ask them questions on their experiences and just having them as, I think, a way to envision ourselves going through that experience as well was very helpful, because kind of mentioned a lot in the Latin community, not a lot of individuals go to college. So being able to see someone like myself go to college and then go into a successful career was very helpful. And for what's something that could be improved, I think would be talking about important topics such as culture shock, imposter syndrome, and being a first generation student and what emotions and challenges that presents during that transition to college. I know academics are very important, and obviously I loved that focus, but putting solely focus on that aspect kind of forgets the idea that we are students transitioning into this new part of our life. And sometimes those areas do cause some distress, like going into our freshman year. So implementing information sessions or workshops that focus on those important topics, I think would be a great way to improve the college transition process.
Allison and Michelle, I really appreciate bringing up how much our multilingual learners can thrive. I'm coming from Texas and Los Angeles, so I know they can thrive. It is not a new phenomenon there. It is still a new phenomenon, I feel like, in Maryland, in some places, and it's not a mystery to ensure that they can thrive. Prior to this, I was in San Antonio and in Tejas, and our college, 90% Title I district, 90% Latino. 5 years ago, 10% of students were going to college. 5 years later, 63% were going to college. So I do not, when people tell me, like, I don't want to hear excuses. The system is designed to either help them succeed or you are designed to not help them succeed. And so I really appreciate you guys sharing that. And also on the first generation piece, I was also a first generation college student. I transferred from community college and then up through the UC system. I also like to say, colleges also don't get a pass. It's not just up to K-12. We do work, and then colleges also have to make sure that they put their arms around you as well to support you, because these institutions were not designed to support students who come from all walks of life when they first went about. So I really appreciate you guys sharing that. It's near and dear to me. So I was just, I'm excited to see programs like this, and so I appreciate it. And don't be surprised if I reach back out and ask you like more details about your program and such, and how we can scale that. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And ditto, everything that the superintendent just said. As a first generation college student, everything that you just said was very near and dear and relatable. Okay, let's see. We have first generation college bound students right on time. We have Deja and then Adrian.
Hello, everyone. I'm the director of programs at First Generation College Bound. And basically, I was shaking my head a lot to what was being said. I know for us, we are in many schools. We partner with Prince George's County students, first generation low income students. And, we know that it is possible. However, I think that sometimes the need is so great, and understanding a lot of times college being free, we focus on affordability and understanding what does affordability mean to a first generation student. And so the students that we have to speak are students that may not know that college can be an option. As you know, the environment and their background that they may come from, it's not common. And so for us, we meet them where they are, and we work with our students to go from the community college on up. I think this year alone, we have 94 college graduates. And, we have 182 students right now that are college bound this year. So, we know it's possible, but of course it takes a village, and it takes coaches like our coaches that are in the schools in Prince George's County. But like I said, the need is so great for them to understand affordability.
to make it possible for them to achieve the college degree and know the financial resources that are available to them. So I will allow my students to give a bit of their story. Hopefully that will share light.
Thank you. I think Anthony, I'm sorry, Adrian.
Oh, did you want me to go first? I didn't know if Deja wanted to go.
Oh,
I guess I can go.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm Adrian Anthony. I'm a graduating senior at Prince George's County Public Schools. And I just want to briefly talk about what college, first generation college bound helped me do. So unfortunately for me, I found them a little later than a lot of other people at my school. I found them in late February. And I know that if I found them earlier and before a lot of the applications were due, they would have helped me a lot. So I'm actually coming from a new perspective. I'm actually an early graduate student. Was supposed to graduate next year, but I went in this year as a junior and now graduating as a senior. And so college applications was completely new to me. Nobody in my family really knew what was going on. And so I was basically on my own. And it wasn't until the day after Thanksgiving that I realized all my applications are due on December 1st. And was applying to mostly art schools. So I was getting in auditions and everything. And I had to do all that in the span of 3 days. And it was not fun at all. And I feel like if I was a part of College Bound earlier, that sort of stress would have been lifted off my shoulders. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But when I did join, they did help me decipher my financial aid packages. So whenever I got accepted into a school, I would send them my financial aid package and they would tell me basically what to focus on, what this meant, what everything meant, and I was able to make a decision off of that. They also provided me with help with just ranting. My coach was amazing. Every time I had an issue or was getting really frustrated with the amount of things that were happening in my life alone, I was able to just text him and rant to him, and he was just super cool and kind about it and didn't even judge me at all. So I think that's just really cool and something that they don't advertise, but it's something that's really important for college students to understand, just to know that they have the support system there, even though they haven't been able to get that throughout their life, which I haven't been able to. And so seeing that was really cool. Another thing they helped me with was they laid out the pros and cons of each decision that I had. And that helped me make a decision to what college I wanted to go to. And so that was really, really beneficial for me. But now I also want to talk about things that I would like to see incorporated moving forward with new students. So I wrote down a list of 4 things that I think would be beneficial for us to sort of incorporate into the program. One of them being time management. Oh my gosh, time management. If you don't know how to manage your time, you're gonna have a very hard time. Trust me, I know. I didn't learn how to time manage until about 9th grade. And before that, I was doing all my assignments where if I had assignments due that week, I was doing every single thing that day and I was doing nothing else. It was really excruciating and I do not recommend that. So learning to time manage, and I feel like that would really help a lot of students going into college. It'll help them balance their time out better and have time for different things like friends and working and whatever else. Another thing that I wanted to actually bring up is the social aspect / college society. A lot of people don't talk about this, and dare I say it, I know being exposed to drugs and alcohol, I know that we don't want to talk about that or even think about it, but it is a reality at a lot of colleges, especially where I'm going, New York City. It's a big thing. So I want to make sure that students are exposed to this. They have lesson plans on this, and I want to make sure that there's helpful tips to dealing with these substances and knowing that, hey, this is something that you're going to be exposed to, but we're trusting you to have the mental maturity in order to make the right decisions for you. But we just want to make sure that we're not, completely hiding students from it. We want to make sure that we're exposing them to these things, so that way they know what they're getting themselves into, and that they know that people care about their well-being. Another thing that I want to talk about is safety. Safety is a big thing, especially in big cities and other places when kids are not with their parents anymore. They're oftentimes on their own. So emphasizing different ways to get to class, emphasizing when not to be outside alone, emphasizing helpful tips and tricks on how to protect yourself. Stuff like that is very important. And then another thing that I want to talk about is physical reality of actually moving to college. So nobody's really talking about how to actually get there. I've been thinking a lot about that because I'm about to move in a few months. But how do you get there? what's the best way, what's the best mode of transportation? What things should we be bringing? What things should we not be bringing? And, I think that as a community, we could come together and form a list of things that colleges would accept and would not accept. And I think it would just help students make a better plan for things they want to bring and what they couldn't bring. And also, just a fun fact, I didn't how to lighten up your load, so things that you're taking with you. I didn't know this, but until I did my own research, I figured out that Bed Bath & Beyond has a service where you can put things in your cart here where you are, and then go to your college, and then wherever you are, you go to your nearest Bed Bath & Beyond, and they have everything that you put in your cart in a box, and then you can choose whether to take things out, whether to add things, whatever you wanted, and then you pay for everything there. And so that'll help students lighten their load when actually traveling, so that you don't have to have so many things to take with you, to the airport or on a bus. There's not a lot of space on a bus. I know this from experience. So, it'll be very helpful. And so I think that those are some of the things that I want to see implemented. And as well, I would like to see a little bit more money being poured into the program. I think this will help tremendously for scholarships. If you take the initiative to join the program, $500 scholarship, $1,000 scholarship, a little bit excessive, but it's a pull factor for students, and it'll help them pay off a little bit of their tuition, but also get educated on how to actually get into college and all the things that go into it. And I also think that the money could go towards funding college trips. So I wasn't able to see a few of my schools because a lot of them were across the country, and I did not have the time or the means to do that. So I feel like if we came up to them and we're like, hey, I want to see a few of these schools or something, they'd be like, okay, we got you. This is when your bus leaves. This is when your plane leaves. Get there, you're good. And we will cover that sort of transportation aspect of it.
And just to add, Adrian, I just wanted to add, because he did come to us late, we have a workshop regarding FAFSA, MISFA, Financial Aid 101, and it's provided to our schools that we're in. And so field trips, fees, all of these things that have to be covered before a student can even step on campus or create a college class, the fees that come with college a lot of times is also a huge concern to our students. And so with Adrian, that I know he's very thorough. So thank you, Adrian. But yes, it's just other workshops we provide as well.
Okay.
I want to give you guys.
I just want to make sure that
timepiece.
We're running out of time. I want to make sure that everybody gets in there just really, really quick. And so thank you guys so much. And then we still have Deja, and then next generation scholars, Andrea and Leonard. And I want to just talk really quickly about our YouTube live viewers. So excuse me. Deja, if you could just say just one thing, and Andrea and Leonard from Next Generation Scholars, just very quickly, make sure you get in there.
Okay, great. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. My favorite thing about working with first generation college bound is their compassion. I feel like working with them is not just like speaking to an administrator or, someone hounding you about the things you need to do, but they also have a lot of heart and compassion, and you feel like you're talking with real people. Deja Cobbs was my advisor, is my advisor, and I always feel comfortable talking to her about anything, like just the real things, not even like, oh, I feel like I have to type out a paragraph or email her so professionally, like just talking about the real things. Something that was important to me was diversity wherever I went to school. Ms. Cobbs was very helpful with that. And also with the financial aid portion, she was very helpful with that as well. And like making the smartest decisions, not just impulsive decisions that I wanted to do. And even though sometimes I had to hear some things that I didn't want to hear, at the end of the day, it helped me a lot because me and my family are in a better situation now than we could have been if I didn't have her by my side. Also, I wanted to say I really loved the persistence and effort with first generation. For example, Mr. Fisher, he would even come to my school just to make sure I had everything on track. So it wasn't always like a phone call or an email. It also included in-person conversations where we would just meet in the counseling office at my school, where he could just be like, how are you right now? Like, do you need any help? Do you need me to help you with this? And I was like, wow, like, it's really nice. Like, I don't have to, be extremely professional and type out an extremely long email email to ask questions. Like, he was always there for me, whether I needed to speak to someone at the school or whether I just needed help with MD Caps or FAFSA. Both of them were really always by my side, and I'll always appreciate them for that. And yeah.
Oh, thanks, Deja. You were going really, really fast. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sorry.
That's great. Okay, and Andrea and Leonard, just really quick, just give us one sentence on what was about your program.
So Andrea Anderson with Maryland Business Roundtable for Education. So we're in 5 counties, and we're in the schools working with the students. And something that has been incredibly effective is working early with students, getting in there in 7th and 8th grade to start building relationships with students, and then following them through senior year. So it makes the whole process so much easier when it comes time to work on important documents, financial aid. We have those relationships already with families so that they feel confident and comfortable to give their information and share, and we can help them make their next best step that works the best for them. So we start early with our Maryland Scholars program in 8th grade, and that really outlines a great strategy for students to what courses to take, what kinds of opportunities should you be looking at, what are colleges actually looking for, what's going to be the best next step for you. So that's kind of the best thing. And the biggest pain point when it comes to working with seniors right now is we rely on the students to help us get access to their financial aid information. So we help students get access to like the Guaranteed Access Grant, the EA grant, and we're currently relying on students to get that information. We're not able to access that information from the state, which makes our jobs really, really difficult.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm familiar with MBRT, Maryland Business Roundtable too. You guys are doing great work. And Leonard, can you give us one statement? Where are you, Leonard?
I'm here.
All right. Thank you.
I'm the Allegheny County Next Generation Program Manager for MBRT as well. I'm in the other county, and our vision is every student a future, every business a success. So from my perspective is that we build projects and activities that have kids working with real college representatives, real businesses to complete real tasks, to get real skills so they can make real money and have a big real impact on the world. I think when I was in school, the biggest thing was, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think nowadays it's more of what problem can I solve and who's going to give me a check to solve that problem, whether it's environmental or social justice. Kids are hungering for real work with real stakes involved nowadays. It's very important that we design things that connect them to that. I get outstanding support from the district, from the administration at Fort Hill High School, from the educators there. And that's really important because I need to connect with the students. I need to connect with their parents. And that goes into the biggest pain point for me is that connection with the parents, because they need to be so involved. And if all the stakeholders are involved, the student benefit. So
yeah, stakeholders, that's important. Always important. Thank you, Leonard from Allegheny County. And I'm sorry that we're kind of rushing because we're getting to the end, but I wanted to make sure everybody got to say something. And I want to thank our YouTube live viewers, Diana and Corrine, and thank you for your feedback. And to everybody, you guys look great. We had a bunch of participants, lots of participants, great discussion. And thank you for our YouTube Live, the State Board, MSDE. Thank you for joining us tonight for this roundtable discussion about college readiness. Your feedback will definitely guide the development of the strategic plan, and we need as many of you as possible to give your input. So please complete and share the strategic planning survey at marylandpublicschools.org/survey. We will also post a link to that in the roundtable and YouTube tracks. And I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Superintendent Choudhury.
I don't want to keep you from whatever you got next, whether it's dinner or whatever it is, but I just want to say thank you. And just so you know, like, this is not like one and done. We please like share ideas, reach out, let us know if there's other ideas about roundtables that we should do. And it's a really exciting time in Maryland. We have an amazing piece of legislation that really wants to expand college and career opportunities and bring it down to the high school level, right? And so we got to get it right. And you guys are pretty much essentially the pioneers for how we can do this well and make it better. So I really appreciate all that you have recommended. And with that, have a great night and a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.